As your project grows and the more you are refactoring, changing the structure and so on, the chance that you are facing some files that are not in use anymore getting higher. And that's where the DCM check-unused-files command comes into play to help you identify those files and fix them automatically. Let's see how this command can help you. All right, here is my project right now. So I have this lib folder with a bunch of folders under that and also quite a few of these Dart files. This is my Flutter application. I also have two packages, the awesome package as well as a structure package, which we're going to get into that as well. To figure out whether you have any unused files or not, you can just run at the command check unused file, as you can see here. And you can also pass the folder that you want to check. So in this case, I'm in the lib folder. I'm going to run this file right now, and beautiful. As you can see right now, I have 4 unused files. Let's take a look at them, see why they are unused. If I now go to this file, you will see that this function is declared here. So if I get a reference here, you will see that it's actually not used anywhere. So it's not only an unused file, but also is unused code. Let's take a look at the widgets here. This is a barrel file. We're exporting everything here, but this is detected as unused. This is interesting. If I go and take a look at this one, you will see that if I get a reference for this file, it's not used anywhere. So, all right, we're exporting dropdown, but it's not used anywhere. How about the form? Let's take a look at that with all the references. It's actually used in auth file. Let's open that. As I can see, we're actually using login form and forgot form from widgets, but we're importing that directly. So I can just go ahead and instead replace this with widgets. If I go back right now, we're using the forms from forget and login form file, and then we're referencing the widgets barrel file. Let's run this command and see what's happening. Beautiful. Now we have one more less. So I'm going to actually show you this one, which is an interesting one. Let's take a look at that. Sometimes this may happen. You see that we define 2 files here, department.dart and employee.dart. And in the department.dart, we're actually importing employee. Okay, that's good. And if I go to the employee, we're also importing department, and that's good. So these are used while we're importing, obviously referencing to each other, but there is a problem here. That's what we call it circular dependencies. We're actually importing these 2 files to each other, and they're not imported to any other files at all. And that's why, in this case, these are also considered as unused files. All right, so this is good. So what we can do technically here, I can just go ahead and delete these files, and then that would be good enough. But I want to also show you one more thing here, is that, like, for example, the handle background message. Let's say even though this function is not used anywhere and this file is not used at all, then we still want to keep this. There are a couple of ways that you can keep this file and exclude it from being checked for unused files. The first one is that you can add this comment, ignore for files, unused files, on the very top of the file. And if you again run the check unused file command, you will see that this file is going to be ignored. Another way that you can exclude that is you can just copy this path, and if I open my analysis option under the exclude, I can go ahead and add unused files. And in this case, I can add a list of files that I want to be excluded. So here's an example right now. I'm going to go and also add the lib here. All right, beautiful. Let me just run the command again, and that's it. All right, so far so good, but you may ask right now whether DCM can help you to automatically remove these files or fix these unused files. And that's where you can use the DCM fix command. And if you pass the unused files to the type argument, here in this case, then DCM will fix all of the unused files for you. Let's take a look. Have you seen the files are now deleted here? So if I go back to my source control, you see now these 2 files are deleted. But that's not it. Sometimes you have packages, and you want to actually run this command for packages, not your Flutter application. So in this case, if I now go to my packages, let's say to awesome, this is my package, and here's my lib folder. Here's an awesome file, which is not referenced anymore. So technically this file is unused, all right? But it should not be considered as unused because this is like a public API, right? And so we're following this pattern of Dart packages where these files are considered private under SRC, and then you have this file which is like a public API. And of course, in packages, this public API file is actually an unused file because it's supposed to be used in other application. If I now run the check-unused file for the lib folders, you will see that the awesome.dart file actually comes as unused file, which is not what we are expecting for this package. So you can pass an argument to this command as exclude public API. And if you do that, then it actually excludes what is considered as public API for this package. All right, beautiful. While this is good, you can pass this argument. It's also nice that you completely ignore every time you run even the command without the argument. So in this case, you can actually open the analysis option under the package, like the awesome package here, and just go ahead and add exclude public API to true. All right. So now if I go and even remove this argument from my command, and if I run again, beautiful. So as you can see, no unused files found, which is expected. And even though we are not passing any exclude public API parameter, it's quite common. You want to use and run this command on your CDCI platform, either GitHub, GitLab, or whatever else you are using, right? So let's say now we have this DCM unused file, and then if I check, here is the report. And you see the report is coming to the console. It's just because the check unused file command comes with the default value of the console to the reporter argument. Okay. So what it means is that if you change this, for example, to JSON, the output is going to be different. You'll get a JSON. And that's not all. So if you are running on GitLab, for example, you may want to pass the GitLab as reporter, or in some other CDCI, which they are following code climate, for example. And some CDCI supports check style formatting. So you want to pass check style. And if you're using Sonar Cube, for example, you will go and add the Sonar. This helps you to protect your PRs when there is such a things happening on your CDCI and prevent for somehow merging until this is fixed. For more information about this command, head over to dcm.dev.